Hello everyone, we are Dafan Study League, one of your trusted study abroad agency here in Lagos. We are here today to help you answer some most asked questions that we've been receiving recently from you guys. And here today, we have one of our experienced counselor and BDM today here with us at Dafan Study League, Mr. Adedayo. Thank you so much for doing this with us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this.
All right, thank you for joining. So, one of the questions I would like you to help us treat today that we've been getting recently is what is the average tuition fees for undergraduate programs?
For the undergraduate program, it varies. Yeah, it varies based on country.
Okay.
So let me use UK for an example. For UK, the average tuition is around between £12,000 to as high as £30,000. So the country and then the school also matters. So yeah, you can get a variety of tuition. You can get some around your budget. Then, let's say you get a school and the tuition is maybe too much. Sometimes these schools offer discounts.
Okay.
Now it's rare that you find schools that offer you like full scholarships, but there are some, but it's not very very common. Then for a country like let's say the US, it can be anywhere from about 20,000 US dollars to as high as 80,000 or 100,000. Again, it's depending on the school also. So obviously, if you are going to an Ivy League school like all those, like Harvard, yeah, all those kind of schools, you'll be expecting a very very high tuition. But that doesn't mean you can't get reasonable tuition fees. Same thing goes for Australia and Canada. For Canada, you can also find very, very competitive tuition fees. So for Canada, you can get from as low as 10,000 Canadian dollars to as high as 60,000 or even more. So again, the school also matters, but the minimum for each of the countries also varies, but they go as high as the school determines basically.
Okay, all right. So, the next question is actually based on the second question, too. So, the second question is mostly about postgraduate. So, the first question was on undergraduate, but the second question is postgraduate program in the UK, the average tuition for people to expect, whether it be postgraduate thought or postgraduate research.
Okay, for the UK postgraduate courses, it's the tuition fee is similar to the undergraduate courses. They're usually like a 1,000 or 2,000 pounds difference. The average tuitions that we have come across so far, based on the partners that we have, they are around from £14,000 to about 30 or more. But yeah, again, all these schools a lot of times offer what's it called, tuition discounts to international students and to help with the cost.
Yeah.
Yes. So also some of the schools can also have scholarships that you can apply for, and get maybe further discounts.
Yeah.
So that's around the price for the UK.
Okay, thank you so much. So, for the tuitions and scholarship discounts, does it vary? Like,
It's at the discretion of the university. So the
okay,
university determines it. They determine how much they want to give you discount. So you can't like how will I say it? It's not like there's a standard fee or
okay,
fee discount that you'll be expecting. It varies entirely and is like at the complete discretion of the school itself.
okay. So, are there payment plans for this tuition? Like,
Um,
for sorry to cut you off. For people that want to make it easier, maybe like a two payment plan, and does it depend on countries or on schools?
Again, it's the school that will determine that. So some schools can give you two installment payment plan after you paid your initial deposit. Some schools can give you three, but there's been a trend recently, especially with the UK, where they been giving people mostly just two installment plans. So there are a few ones that I know of, like Roehampton. I believe they have up to seven
Yeah.
installments for your tuition payment. So yeah, it's highly dependent on the school, but the majority of schools give you mostly just two installment plans, two installment payments. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, another question that we frequently get is: are there any other payments that students should know about before traveling abroad? Because students tend not to know about these payments, and then when they get there, they find it as a problem.
Yes. So other than your tuition, obviously, because you need to pay your tuition fee in order to get accepted in school. You need to consider your accommodation, you need to consider your flights, you need to consider your feeding. And as regards accommodation and feeding, the UK government has been kind enough to estimate
Yeah.
that for you already, and it's packaged as what they call, what we in Nigeria know as proof of funds.
Mm-hmm.
But the UK government, I think they call it maintenance fee.
Yes.
So it's depending on where you stay in the UK. I know for London, it's slightly higher than for other places in the UK. So it can be anywhere from £9,200
Mm-hmm.
to about £10,000, depending on. So obviously, if you're staying in London, it will be higher. If you're staying outside of London, it will be cheaper, significantly cheaper. Yeah. So other than that, I think there's not much else you should be expecting. Okay, your travel insurance,
Yeah.
tuition, what's
And
it called?
health
Health
insurance.
insurance.
Yes.
All those will also be paid for. So for the UK, they have the IHS fee where you can pay
Mm-hmm.
your IHS, which will cover your health insurance, and then just you can choose to do travel insurance also. But that's about it. So food, um, accommodation. Those are the two main things that you need
Okay.
to think about.
Okay, so the last question for this session that I'll be asking is for okay, in a situation like Nigeria where the exchange rate for students are always increasing, and then we get students that want to travel abroad, but the exchange rate always discourage them from traveling abroad. Like, how do you advise that students work about this?
Ah, the thing about this is that there's not much that can be done about it because it's a situation that is out of our hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely determined by government policies.
Yeah.
The market rates of different kind of things like that. So, how to work on, because a lot of people, with the way the current economy is, money is scarce in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So if at some point you have a certain amount, and then the fluctuation of the FX makes the money that you have like lesser
Mm-hmm.
than what you need for your tuition and everything, the only other way is obviously to try and get more money to, put into it.
Yeah.
So, and in a situation where you already have the money,
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest you, um, budget like 10 to 20% more than is needed. That way you can be somewhat safe during the fluctuations of the market.
Yeah.
So once you budget for it, that way, when if something happens, the rate goes up a little bit and makes your money drop, you're still within the safe limit, and you can still put in for your study abroad plans.
So, guys, I hope we've answered some of your asked questions. You see why I said he's one of our trusted and experienced counselor in the fan. So, you guys, I hope we've answered your questions, and thank you so much, Mr. Dejayo, for coming.
Thank you for
We
having me.
really appreciate it, and we hope we'll see you guys in our next session.
Yes, yes, yes. Please send in your
Yes,
applications.
yes,
Japan is here to help. Please.
yes.